ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधना बोधितम् लोके सज्जन षट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
The entire study of the Vedas and using Dharma Shastra as the purification process, stems from the basic Siddhanta, meaning a fundamental concept. Siddhanta means the basic concept. So the fundamental Siddhanta is called Rina Siddhanta. The entire Vedic study, Dharma Shastra, all this has a Siddhanta as the base. The Siddhanta is called Rina Siddhanta. Rina Siddhanta is what we have been hearing any number of times. That a conviction that you are indebted at birth itself. Since you are indebted at birth itself, your whole lifetime must be one of not taking anything. That not taking anything is a lifestyle, which is what Dharma Shastra is elaborating right. So the Siddhanta has to be understood. What is the Siddhanta of Dharma Shastra? It is not a very good way of living. It has a very deep Siddhanta. Now, if you are convinced about the Siddhanta, Dharma Shastra will have a meaning. What is the Siddhanta? The Siddhanta is called Rina Siddhanta. Rina Siddhanta means the moment the individual is born, you are indebted, and the only way you should live life henceforth is by performing duties. The only way that you should live life is by performing duties. So Rina Siddhanta says you are indebted at birth. Therefore, from that time onwards, you should start living a life of duties. Duties means what to do, what not to do. The law. Who decides all that? All that we have studied already. All that we have studied. The Dharma talks about it, etc., etc. I'm not going into those introductions again because we have studied that already. So the primary thing that we understand here is what? The Siddhanta upon which the entire Dharma Shastra is evolved. What is the Siddhanta upon which Vedanta is evolved? I'm differentiating between Dharma and Vedanta now. What is the Siddhanta upon which Vedanta is evolved? The Siddhanta upon which Vedanta evolves is Maya. Maya. The moment you say it is Maya, the law becomes Maya, you being indebted becomes Maya, all that becomes redundant. Don't mix up both. That's why we keep saying don't mix up both. Don't mix up both. Better to take the Rina Siddhanta than to take the Maya Siddhanta. Forget the Maya Siddhanta. When I say forget the Maya Siddhanta means when a person is not grown, taking that Maya Siddhanta is of no help. And what world has done is they have taken the Maya Siddhanta as the standard and ridiculed the entire, because and the moment you take the Maya Siddhanta as the standard, the entire Dharma Shastra can be ridiculed. Are you able to follow? So two Siddhantas. Vedas has two Siddhanta basically. One Siddhanta is Rina Siddhanta, another Siddhanta is Maya Siddhanta. Of the two, which one are you convinced about right now? According to what you are convinced to follow. If you say, I am Maya Siddhanta, sir, that person will not be sitting here. That Maya Siddhanta person will, because Maya Siddhanta means no law, no regulation, no nothing. You can do anything and everything, because ultimately it's Maya. In Maya, sinner or saint has no meaning. In the dream, you are a sinner. What difference does it make? In the dream, you are the holiest saint. What difference does it make? Wow. So nice to hear. So wonderful to hear. So inspiring it is. You feel like straight away you can get into that. Therefore, it just doesn't work that way. Therefore, what Vedas have done, even though ultimately we have to come to Maya Siddhanta at some point of time, start with Start with Rina Siddhanta. Rina means indebted. So the entire thought flow of you have to repay dharma, what to do, what not to do, um, duties, obligations, all that stems from this basic idea. This basic idea should be the fact. Now, from whom all you have taken it, Taittiriya Samhita elaborates it. That's why the Taittiriya, in the very first introduction, I said we start with the study of Taittiriya Samhita. Taittiriya. Because Taittiriya is the Dharma Shastra excellent. The Taittiriya Samhita talks about the Rina Siddhanta. The Taittiriya Samhita says what all you are indebted to Deva, Rishi, Pitru, Manushya, Bhuta. Because you have taken from all the five. Because you have taken from all the five, you can only do your duties to all the five and no more take anything from any of these five. That is Dharma. Worst of it is you take it and you don't even say thank you. Rina Siddhanta means taking it. Worst scenario is what? You take it and you don't see and you don't even say thank you. The person who takes and doesn't even say thank you is called a thief. That's why when you wake up in the morning, you see the sunlight, you say thank you to the sun. But sir, how will sun know whether I'm saying thanks to it or not? Can sun recognize? Whether sun recognizes or not, you will have Chitta Shuddhi. Don't worry. Sir, I am saying thank you to moon. I am saying thank you to stars. I'm saying thank you to everything. What is this thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you? Then whole life I have to spend only saying thank you. No. Then when will I do? When will I do my ragadvesha actions? When will I satisfy my desires? When will I do my things? I should also, I need my personal space, no? I need my private space. I need my personal space. Dharma Shastra comes and says, you want your private space, personal space, Naraka you will get. In Naraka you will get. In Naraka you will get your private space. In Naraka you will get your personal space. In Karma Bhumi, which is the world where choices are there, actions are there, only thing that you have to do is what? Rina Siddhanta. So, have this clarity. Rina Siddhanta is Dharma Shastra. Maya Siddhanta is called Vedanta. That's why it's called Anta, the end. Because beyond Maya, there is nothing. Now, from Maya, you can't come to Dharma Shastra. From Dharma Shastra, you can mature and go to Maya. But what has happened? When you take Maya Siddhanta as the starting point, what becomes irrelevant? Rules become irrelevant. Achara, code of conduct becomes irrelevant. Everything becomes irrelevant. And anybody and everybody can do what they feel like doing, etc. So, the Siddhanta has to be very clear. What is the Siddhanta? Rina Siddhanta, are you going to base your life according to Rina Siddhanta or Maya Siddhanta? I never thought I'm going to start like this. But as I said, what that Acharya, what Paramacharya told me flashed. Hey, remember, Rina Siddhantava, Maya Siddhantava, he said. Rina Siddhanta or Maya Siddhanta? Which one are you going to follow? If you take Maya Siddhanta, forget it, because you and me are one. If you take Maya Siddhanta, you can murder and get away with murder because the murder is Maya, the murderer is Maya, the victim is Maya, the perpetrator is Maya. Can you live life like that? If anybody says, I can live life like that, we can prostrate to that person, because either that person is enlightened or don't live life like that person. Two ways only. Either he is enlightened or don't live life. So primary thing in life is decide on what Siddhanta you are basing your life. Rina Siddhanta or Maya Mithya. If you say the entire thing is Maya, then law of karma also. Then what happens to law of karma? If you say it's Maya, what happens to law of karma? Ram Subramaniam. What will happen to law of karma if you say it is Maya? Law of karma also becomes Maya. Huh? You teach Maya, 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 there's nothing there, and then you tell the person, obey the law, he will turn back and say, what? You only taught us there is no law. No. You only taught us it's all Maya. No. Now, why are you coming and teaching me? Follow the law that is Mithya anyway. You follow the law that is Mithya. I will follow. You follow the law that is Mithya, but I am above Mithya. Because I have understood what? Maya. That is why this Vedanta is given to a one who is dharmic by nature. So a dharmic person by nature will be taught pure Vedanta. Till that time, they will go on blowing their lungs out, talking about Dharma, 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 Dharma. Dharma means you don't have a choice. Somebody has decided what you should do and you should do. You will not like it. Ego will not like it. When I say you means the ego will not like it. Okay, who are you to tell me, sir? You won't. That's why everything, the Nibandhas we are going to talk about today. The Nibandhas we are going to talk about. Everything is codified and given to you. A timetable is made and given to you. You don't have to sit and make a timetable. You don't have to sit and worry about the timetable. The timetable is already given. All that you have to do is what? Follow the timetable. No, sir, but some aspects of the timetable is not practical, no? இந்த காலத்துக்கு அதெல்லாம் ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகாது சார். In the 21st century, it won't work out. 21st century, it won't work out. If it is not going to work out, some great man will come and give us the new Nibandhas. Till the new Nibandhas have come, follow this. Carefully follow the distinction. I said, in the first day, I said, every 300, 400 years, the Nibandhas keep changing. Who's qualified to give Nibandhas? Who's qualified to give Nibandhas? Don't say enlightened person. Huh? Don't say enlightened person. Who's qualified to give Nibandhas? Who's qualified to make changes in the previous Nibandhas and say, follow this? Who's qualified to do that? A enlightened achara following Rishi. Again, I repeat. An enlightened achara following Rishi alone can give Nibandhas. But the very enlightenment itself is so liberating. Why will they go back to achara? They will not go back. See, most of the people today who are nowhere near the spelling of the word realization think they are self-realized. They don't even know the spelling of what it is, but they think they are self-realized, know what to do. So, who is qualified to give Nibandhas? Not just not enlightened persons alone. Not enlightened persons alone. Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam, we say for teaching Vedanta. For Nibandhas, Achara Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Use that as the formula. Quote vechukkonga formula. For Nibandhas, change has to come from Achara plus plus Shrotriyam plus Brahmanishtam. Are you able to understand how difficult it is getting? It's extremely difficult because you are giving something. You are giving a prescription, and that prescription should be error proof. It's not a trial and error prescription. Try it out kind of prescription. It's not a try it out kind of prescription. It's a commandment. No, do it. Doctor will say try it out. It may work. Dharma Shastra will say it will work. Understand the difference. You go to a prescription, doctors will say try it out, try it out, try it out. Permutation. Here, Dharma Shastra says it will work. Do it. What is Nibandhas? Nibandhas takes into consideration factors. What are the factors that Nibandhas take into consideration? Formula wise, he gives it in chapter 4 Bhagavad Gita. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha. So, the Dharma Shastra, the Dharma Sutra, the Dharma Shastra, Nibandhas all follow a formula of Varna, Ashrama. And that Varna and Ashrama is based on Guna and Karma. So the entire Dharma Shastra Nibandhas boils down to what it boils down to? A lifestyle based on 4-class society. Today, any talk about the 4-class society itself is so criminal. What can you talk about Dharma Shastra? But sir, it is not practical nowadays. No. We are not talking about practicing it as a society. At an individual level, you can still practice it. We are not talking about Dharma Shastra going to be practiced at this level of the society. That requires a great person of Achara, Shrotriyam, Brahmanishtam to come and do all that. Even if you hear the name of such people, we are lucky. Forget about meeting them, seeing them and all. To see them and sit with them, more punya is required. Even to hear their names is so. You follow what I'm saying? So, Nibandhas they make, and the prescription they say will definitely work based on what? Based on the guna and karma. The guna and karma. That guna and karma is what technical name is Varna and Ashrama. The English translation of it is the 4-class society. And we have seen it any number of times. The 4-class society is not a discriminatory society. This is according to the swabhava of the individual. The 4-class society is based on the swabhava of the individual. And swabhava comes from the sattva, rajas, tamas, guna proportion. The proportion of sattva, rajas, tamas, guna proportion. What all the Nibandhas talk about? The Nibandhas talks about a list. The few things that Nibandhas talks about, I'll give you the list first. The first thing the Nibandhas talks about is what traditionally called as the list of samskaras. The list of samskaras. Meaning, because you have been rina, purifications. Purifications. And when does the prayer start for you? Even before you are born, the prayer for you has started. Even after you die, the prayer for you will continue. This is the scheme of life. Again, even before you are born, the prayers for you have started. You know that? Even before you are born, the prayers for you have started. That's why we have this in the 3rd month of pregnancy, there is a prayer. In the 5th month, there is a prayer. In the 7th month, there is a prayer. In the 9th month, there is a prayer. Nowadays, everything is get mixed up in half a day. All are getting mixed up in half a day because we have no time. Because we have no time. Survival, sir, livelihood itself is a big problem. Where do we have time? So after retirement, I will come and do Dharma Shastra. Because previously I am so occupied with my livelihood itself. Where do we have time for இதெல்லாம் பண்ணினே இருந்தா who will take care of the livelihood? It means you have not understood the scheme of life. What is the scheme of life? The prayer for you have started. Even before you are born, the prayers for you has been started. And it continues. And then the ultimate prayer for you also, you can't do it by yourself. Somebody does prayer for you, Antyeshti. You die, somebody does prayer for you for your Sadgati. It means what? So, the first thing that Dharma Shastra and Nibandhas talks about is the entire list of prayers. Before you are born, that which continues after you are dead. This is the first study of Nibandhas. Second is initiation into Vedic study, what is called Upanayana. Everybody is initiated into studies. Everybody is initiated into Vedic study. Everybody is initiated into Vedic studies. Lot of restrictions is given to the one who wants to teach. இன்னைக்கு அது ஒரு பெரிய tragedy. Anybody who studies this think they can teach. Anybody who comes to 3 classes wants to go out and start taking classes now. What to do? Because everybody believes they are qualified to teach. Quite a few here also asked me, sir, can we also start teaching? I said, Narayana, God will save you, and God only has to protect you, and God only has to protect your students from you. What do we do now? The Vedic study is for everybody. Teaching is not for everybody, because that's a huge, tremendous responsibility. Without a life of Acharya, etc., what teaching can be done? Yadyadacharati sreshtaha. So the second thing that the Dharma Shastra talks about is the initiation into Vedic study. Not initiation into secular study. Initiation into Vedic study. Non-detailed study will be secular study. In the Gurukula, both the education is taught. Vedas is taught. Something that you need a skill to earn your livelihood is also taught. That's why the Gurukula itself is divided into 2 semesters. One semester, everybody will be taught the Vedas, Dharmas. Please understand, when we say Vedas, we mean Dharma, not Maya. We mean Dharma, we mean law of karma. Remember what will be taught. Dharma and law of karma, and not Maya. That is one semester. Another semester is skills, livelihood education. And the livelihood education will be dependent upon the guna and karma, will be dependent upon the guna. That is swabhava. So the teacher will assess the swabhava of the person, and accordingly they will be distributed and say, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. Initiation and Vedic study. After finishing the initiation and Vedic study, what comes next? Another important aspect of Nibandhas, the marriage. Marriage is a sacred vow. Because it is sacred, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa is allowed, divorce is not allowed. Understand the difference. Vanaprastha is allowed, Sannyasa is allowed, divorces is not allowed. இன்னைக்கு இது சொன்னாலே who are you to interfere with our fundamental rights? I have the fundamental right to choose my partner, and I also have the right to leave my partner. I don't know. Then comes the hospitality. Hospitality means how you receive the guests, how you take care of the guests, how you take care of the species around you, etc. All this is another important thing. Another important aspect of Nibandhas is dietary laws. The sattvic food, rajasic food, tamasic food. What you should eat, what you should not eat, when you should eat, when you should not eat. All this comes under Nibandhas. Then comes what will give you dosha and what will give you what you should do to purify yourself. So pollution and purification. Pollution and purification is another important subject matter of Nibandhas. Pollution. What is pollution? What is pollution? Not environmental pollution, huh? Not that. Not that. Dosha. The biggest crime I committed, according to my grandfather once, for which I got nice slaps also, is from the haircut, walked into the house directly. According to him, it is the most, I still remember that. And how can you walk into the house directly? And the whole house was purified after that. இப்ப அதெல்லாம் பண்ண முடியாது சார். Superstition this is. Correct. Definition of Dharma superstitions, sacraments are superstition, Vedic study is superstition, marriage has become a superstition. So pollution, and because you are polluted, what you should do to purify yourself. Pollution and purification, another study of Nibandhas. Then comes the rules. Rules for everybody. Rules for rule of the wife, rule of the husband, rule of the father, rule of the mother, rule of the citizen. Constitution and all is formed based on these laws. Constitution, some of the fundamental principles of constitutions comes from this. Then comes the royal law. Then comes the donations, dhanam, Nibandhas. Another important study of Nibandhas is dhanam. The doctrine of karma, the doctrine of jiva and naraka. All this is Nibandhas. Do you want to study this? Vana sir. No. We don't want to study all this. We are all forward-looking people here. Don't take us backward to have a haircut and don't walk into the house. How silly it is. How silly it is. The entire Nibandhas has a rule. The entire Nibandhas is based on, again, a fundamental formula. What is a fundamental formula? The fundamental formula is every aspect of your life will be decided by somebody and you obey that. All aspects of your life will be decided by somebody, and you obey that. We feel like saying, get lost. Actually, we don't feel like saying, we actually say it, no, Sai. Each and every aspect of life of yours will be decided by somebody. If that somebody is not deciding, you will be deciding. And when you decide, on what basis you will decide? That much we know. If the choice is given to you, what is the basis of your choices? Raga, Dvesha. Very correct. To that extent, brainwashing is done, isn't it? To that extent, to that extent, brainwashing is done. If the choice is given to you, on what basis you will make the choice? You will always make the choice according to your raga and dvesha. Now comes dharma. Now comes dharma. Why dharma again now? Why dharma comes in very beautifully now? You make a choice, be ready for the consequences. If you do not want the consequences, don't make a choice. Wise one will not make a choice. Ignorant one only will say, I will do what I will decide. Ignorance says, I will decide. Wise one says, please, you decide. Why? Now comes the crux. Human is free to select one's options. Carefully follow now. A human being is free to choose. What is that freedom? What does that freedom means? All human activity, manasam karma, vachikam karma, kayakam karma, including inaction, has the potential to cause a chain of consequences. Has the potential to cause the chain of consequences. It is therefore important to choose rightly. Therefore, it is very important to choose rightly. And since we cannot make the choice, it is better to do as someone else asks you to do. Do someone else. Are you able to follow? Why it seems to be very rigid. Discipline seems to be very rigid. Dharma says this discipline is to make you suffer, or is discipline for your benefit? Visham and Amritam, 18th chapter, Bhagavad Gita. Discipline is always Visham in the beginning. You can choose, you have the freedom to choose. Looks like Amritam in the beginning. And when consequences comes, we come back and say what happened, and then we go to what prayaschitta we can do now. What prayaschitta we can do now? First prayaschitta, and the only prayaschitta, what? Accept responsibility. I made a mistake. Accept it. Don't defend it. Dharma Shastra says never defend your mistake, because defending a mistake is preparing to do it again. Defending a mistake is a preparation to do it again. Therefore, nibandhas. comes in, Nibandhas comes in with a lot of rigidity. Nibandhas comes with a lot of, it appears to be rigid, but it is not rigid. Why? Because discipline is always for your welfare. Are you okay till now? Consequences are there only where there is a choice. The karma, the law of karma comes into play when? Law of karma comes into play when? Only when there is a choice. Only when there is a choice, the law of karma comes into play. The important study of Dharma Shastra is law of karma. Because it is the law of karma that gives the naraka bhayam, etc. Karma comes into play only when there is a choice. Other species don't incur karma, we say, because other species don't incur karma because there is no choice. They don't have a choice. There's no choice they have. A sacrificial lion, terrorist lion. Doesn't exist. Lion is a lion, that's all. Isn't it? Sacrificial tiger, terrorist tiger. Does it happen like that? No. Therefore, Dharma becomes relevant only where there is a choice. If you agree that you have a choice, be careful of the choices that you make, because the consequences is hidden in the choice. That's why we say you are punished by the action. Law of karma. You are punished by the action. You are not punished for the action. Again, you are not punished for the action. You are punished by the action, because it is so intricately embedded in action itself. So intricately embedded. But humanity doesn't have this understanding. Therefore, liberalism, the ego likes. Rigidity and discipline, the ego dislikes. Being liberal is what the ego likes, and everybody considers, wow, it's a liberal person, sir. I'm a very liberal person. You should feel proud to say, I'm a dharmic achara person. You should not feel proud to say, I'm a liberal person. Because being liberal is a privilege to whom? Being liberal is the privilege to the enlightened. The enlightened alone can have the privilege of being liberal. Till that time, you should be willing to be bound by the law. Liberal means I will choose which aspect of the law to follow. I will decide, sir. You just give me the law. I will choose what to do. You follow. So what is Nibandhas? And the study of Nibandhas will be opening up a Pandora's box. We'll be opening up a Pandora's box. And we are bold enough to open the Pandora's box, not today. Not today, I'm not, because each and everything we open, We're not going to open. But then, for example, opening up the Nibandhas is opening up political debates on issues of life. Again, I repeat. Opening up Nibandhas is opening up political debates on issues of life. For example, what are the issues of life? Children's rights, women's rights. These are all, I'm just giving examples. You open it up, Nibandhas. Does children have rights? Children should have the right to choose their teacher. Wow, what an ideal society where children can choose the teacher. Children have the capacity to give feedback on the wisdom of the teacher. Wow, what an education system. Wow. Feedback they take, no? The universities, they say we should feedback. I said no feedback because nobody is capable of giving feedback, I will say. Sir, but today we have to take feedback. He said, you take. I am not going to take because if I take feedback, I know the result. Useless, impractical talk will be the feedback. I know that already. No, what is the feedback that I am going to take? And also, am I going to change? I'm not going to change also. So what is the need for feedback? Because feedback I take only if I have to mix match, change. I'm not going to mix match. Why? What is the feedback? Useless, impractical talk. Moon Dharma Shastra talk was very good for 3 days, sir. Fourth day, punctured. Balloon is punctured, fourth day. Yeah. Nibandha. Because it opens up. And Dharma Shastra is bold enough to open it up, talk about it, answers everything, and gives you the conviction to follow. It does all that. That's why we say it's a more tougher subject to teach and study. Maya and Mithya and all is not a tougher subject to study. There's nothing tough in that. 3 weeks is enough to by heart, and you can also go and give a lecture. And people will think you have transcended Maya. The way you talk, people will think you have transcended Maya. Isn't it? Isn't it? We don't know what to even. What is Nibandhas? What is the difficulty of Nibandhas? What is the difficulty of Dharma Shastra? It will open up issues which are political by nature. Dharma Shastra is not concerned about the political views. It is concerned about the dharmic views. Because Dharma Shastra sees life as the continuity, Punarjanma. It is Dharma Shastra that says Punarjanma. Vedanta comes and says Maya it is. Compare. All that we say at one level, Vedanta will come and say all that is Maya. Law of karma, Maya. Punarjanma, Maya. Naraka, Maya. What will you do with that? What will you do with that? That is more impractical. But people like that. Why? Because it is a very good intellectual entertainment. It is a very good intellectual entertainment. Number 2, very ego fulfilling. Very ego fulfilling, very ego satisfying. Because you can do whatever you want to do and say it's Maya. No, anyway, sir. Anyway, it's all relative. No. Anyway, these things are not there. No. Murderer can go scot-free because it is Maya. No. Dharma Shastra is very, very different from that angle. It comes in with a whole lot of rigidity. Rigidity means that which is painful to the ego. The mission of Dharma Shastra is not political debates. The mission of Dharma Shastra is to neutralize the ego, is to make the ego bent. Are you able to follow? To make the ego bent, they keep a whole lot of nibandhas, isn't it? The rules they keep. And isolated people take up rules and they start criticizing it. That is politics. Isolated, they will take. Like, for example, a simple example of nibandhas is Manusmriti. Manusmriti is an example of Nibandha Grantha because he has given exactly from the time you wake up till the time you go to sleep what you should do, what you should not do, birth to death. He has given that code. Any portion of it can be taken and analyzed and proven it's a product of a sick mind. It can be done. Those who followed it had a very good mental health. Those, those who are very liberal and forward looking are the ones in the modern generation worrying about mental health. The proof of the pudding is in the eating, correct? The proof of the pudding is in the eating. Mango is so nice to look at, sir. You put it in the mouth, no taste at all, na? What does it mean? You follow? Nibandhas means mental health. Nibandhas means following that takes care of your mental health. So there was a society that never worried about the mental health a lot. Today, everybody is worrying about the mental health, the mental health, the mental health. What is it that made the human being lose mental health? That which the choices are made according to their own ragadvesha. So, nibandhas. Are you able to follow? Nibandhas. Nibandhas means that which is from birth till death, morning till evening. So Nibandha says, you should stand and bathe in the direction of the east, and you should not bathe in the direction of the west, north, south. You should bathe in the flow of the river direction only. You should bathe. You should not bathe in the opposite. It gives so many rules for bathing. And you are supposed to utter a prayer. And you are supposed to utter a prayer. When you hear all this, how do you feel? Bathing, direction and bathing, what difference it has? The same Rishi who has understood Maya, Mithya, self-realized person is the one who is giving us this Nibandhas. That's why I said, who is the one who is giving us Nibandhas? The formula of the Rishi, the quality of the Rishi who gives us Nibandhas. We have heard the quality of the Rishi to teach Brahma Vidya. What is the quality of the Rishi to teach Brahma Vidya? Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. What is the qualification of the Rishi to give Nibandhas? Achara Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. It means what? Obviously, he knows all that, no? Obviously, she knows all that, no? But still, why are they giving it? That is the humility with which we approach Dharma Shastra. Because we have to understand who has given Nibandhas. the quality of the human being who has given Nibandha. The one who has given Nibandha is not a social worker. Please understand that. Nibandhas are not given by a social worker. Nibandhas are not given by a politicians. Nibandhas are not given by a human beings. Nibandhas are given by the one who has three. What is the three? Achara, Shrotriyam, Brahmanishtam. It means what we know, that person knows much, much more. And still there's rigidity. So it is not the rigidity. It is a discipline to say in every moment of your life, you will not be impulsive by nature. It's a discipline. So Dharma is the very good discipline to make you not impulsive at all at any given point of time. Forget it. Today, all the time we are impulsive only. All the time we are impulsive. So impulsive, so impulsive. No limit to that impulsive nature of the human being. You follow? Therefore, if you have to curb the impulsive nature, which is the Rakshasa guna of the human being, Astira and Chanchala. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. Arjuna is asking, idella eppadi follow pandrathu? Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, because it is so impulsive, it is so jumping, it is so doing all this. How can I tame this? Is it possible at all to tame this? Is it possible at all to do this? Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena chu guhyate. Abhyasa, practice. Practice of what? Practice of Dharma. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha guhyate. So it means he gives two disciplines, Abhyasa and Vairagya. One interpretation is practice of Vairagya. Another interpretation is you do something as a result of which Vairagya comes. I would prefer to take the second interpretation. There are two interpretations. One is Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyana cha guhyate. So practice of Vairagya is one interpretation. Another interpretation is practice of something that will lead to Vairagya. What is that practice? Dharma. Dharma, practice of Dharma means practice of Nibandhas. So it boils down to what? Practice of Dharma means practice of Nibandhas. What is Nibandha means? The formula of Nibandha, a divine connection with everything. Associating with the divine. Because Rina Siddhanta, don't forget the starting point, Rina Siddhanta. Rina Siddhanta means it's blessed. You are blessed at birth itself. For that you are grateful. Indebtedness. Grateful. So, gratitude is one Siddhanta. Maya is another Siddhanta. You can't have gratitude and Maya. Sequentially it goes. Gratitude, maturity into gratitude, Maya. Are you able to follow? So, Rina means gratitude. Rina literally means indebted. Indebtedness means what? A sense of gratitude that you develop by understanding how everything that you needed was already thought of and provided. So what you should do? You have to be extremely careful. From this extremely careful, Dharma Shastra comes and talks about a vital aspect of Nibandha, what is known as ecological sensitivity. Nowadays, people talk about ecological sensitivity, no? Isn't it? We have to be careful of environment. Dharma comes and says, this is what we have been teaching you from the beginning. But the human mind says, economical needs overpowers ecological sensitivity. Again, the economical needs overpowers the ecological sensitivity. That is adharma. So Nibandhas will come and say, no, ecological sensitivity is primary. Oh, ecological sensitivity means you have to go back to Bulla Carter, sir. Doesn't matter. If you choose to go by Bulla cart, you will be saved. To that extent, you are being sensitive. That's all. Ecological sensitivity versus economical needs. Because Nibandas comes and says you have to be extremely careful. Why you have to be extremely careful? Because anything and everything is provided to you. That which is provided to you is not exclusive to you. Are you able to follow? That which is provided is not exclusive to you. The human ego has taken that which is provided is their exclusive property. That's why they think everything in nature is designed for human life's betterment. Not only we think it's for human life's betterment, we refuse to say thank you also. You follow the difference now. So Nibandhas, an important aspect of Nibandha is ecological sensitivity. What is ecological sensitivity means? We keep giving this example any number of times. Sun can be seen as a ball of fire. Sun can be seen as you can extract electricity from sun and make your life better, or you can see sun as sun god. How you see sun? Take an example. Nibandha says it is sun god. Nibandha says sun should be seen as sun god. Water should be seen as water god. You use sunlight and don't say thank you. What will you be called? Stena evasaha. Cook food but eat sin. Look at the consequences of karma in chapter 3, he talks about it. You will be cooking food. When you are cooking, it is food. When you are eating, it turns into sin. Why? Because you forgot to say thank you. You forgot to say thank you. So when you are showering, you have to say thank you. When you are eating, you have to say thank you. Each and every moment, you have to keep saying thank you, thank you, thank you. If you live a life like that, what happens? Chitta Shuddhi happens. Chitta Shuddhi happens. That Chitta Shuddhi is very important for Vedanta, Jnana Yoga, Maya. Thief is one who takes the belongings and runs away, isn't it? Will any thief stand and say thank you? He will steal, and then what he will do? Runs away. So Nibandhas are very strict. Nibandhas are very strict because Nibandhas treats you like a child. Nibandhas treats you like a child. Child means, when the child starts crawling, what the child will do? Anything and everything it will put in the mouth, no? Anything and everything it finds, it will put in the mouth, isn't it? Nibandha sees us like that child. Anything and everything will just pick it up and put. Anything and everything will just pick it up and put in the mouth. Nibandha comes and says, don't do that. It will forcefully take it away from you. The mother forcefully takes it away. And when it is forcefully taken away, the child is crying. The child is irritated. The child is angry. The child is frustrated. The child wants to punish The child wants to punish the mother for that. The child wants to punish the parent for the nibandhas. Isn't it? Is there any child who doesn't want to punish the parent when nibandhas are given? Every child wants to punish the parent. And parent laughs at the punishment given by the child. What is the punishment given by the child? I don't like you. I don't trust you. You are the villain of my life. What the mother does? Oh, my child doesn't like me. Will the mother start crying? If the mother starts crying, one child is mothering another child, isn't it? Oh, because my child never told me I love you. My child never smiled at me. Never did that. You follow? Nibandhas sees us like that child. Nibandhas always looks at us like that child. That is why in the very first introduction I said, Nibandhas, Dharma Shastras will be taught in childhood, where there is an innocence and trust to follow. To an adult, Dharma Shastra will not be given because, but sir, why this person is that? Why that person is treated like that? Why this person is treated like, isn't it? The last Nibandha, and I conclude the sessions. One of the commands given in the Ramayana. I'm taking Ramayana, one incident from Ramayana. The command given in Ramayana, after the war is over, everything is over, the command given by Rama to Sita is what? What is the command given by Rama to Sita? We all know that, no? After the war is over, what is the command given? Anybody? Agni Pariksha. Enter into fire and come out. That is why women empowerment is needed, sir. This is called male. This is called, what is it? Male. Why can't Rama enter the fire? If Sita has told Rama to enter fire, Rama would have entered the fire. If Sita has told Rama, why don't you enter? Rama would have happily entered the fire. And Sita entered the fire. Smilingly she entered the fire because the love and understanding of Rama and Sita is so pure, that Sita could not even think that Rama will suspect. The love for, if fire is going to hurt me, Rama will not ask me to enter into the fire. That is Dharma Shastra. It doesn't matter, reverse it also. It doesn't make any difference. Sita is so convinced what? Since Rama has told me to enter into fire, that fire will not burn me. And she came out of fire alive. Can anybody come out of fire alive? And she came out, no? What is the Nibandha here? A commandment is given and the love, the love is seen in where that love is at, so suspicion comes. And most of the time, we will always treat the nibandhas with suspicion, because nibandhas look like very discriminatory. It appears to be very redundant. It appears to be very backward. The study of Dharma Shastra is nothing but the study of nibandhas. And each and every nibandha has a formula behind it. Since the formula was taught in the beginning and the nibandhas were given, they were following it, the nibandhas, with such a conviction. The formula was taught, the formula was known behind each and every nibandha. What is education means? This is the education. Ecological sensitivity, they call as Dharma. Global warming, we should not do, isn't it? Save the tiger, save the turtle, save the planet, isn't it? Dharma Shastra's thing is save the human being. Again, save the planet, save the turtle, save the tiger. We have so many saviors, no? Dharma Shastra comes and says, save the human being. Why? Because other species need not be saved, because there is Dharma already, there is law already. So saving from whom? Are you going to save the tiger from deer? Are you going to save the deer from tiger? What is saving the tiger? What is saving the deer? That we need not do. So, nibandhas also have save somebody formula. So, what is a nibandha save somebody formula? Save the human being. And save the human being from whom? Save the human being from oneself, and save the others from this human being, and save the planet also from this human being. So you have to be saved from yourself. You have to be saved from whom first? Yourself. And also other human beings around you has to be saved from Ram Subramaniam. யார்கிட்ட இருந்த? கரெக்ட். கரெக்ட். மீன்னு சொன்னீங்க. யூ ஆர் சேவ்டு. யூன்னு சொல்லியிருந்தீங்கன்னா அவ்வளவுதான். So you have to be saved from yourself. Other human beings also have to be saved from you, and the entire planet has to be saved from you. It means you have to be always kept on the tight leash. It's so irritating. Feel like your freedom is taken away. Therefore, to conclude, Dharma Shastra is the study of nibandhas. Number 2, study of nibandhas and following the nibandhas. What is the formula? In every aspect of life, let somebody decide. In all aspects of life, let somebody decide. But sir, all along we have been saying, you should make the choice, you should make the choice, you should make the choice. Yeah. You should make the choice of what? You should make the choice of listening to nibandhas. You should choose. You should choose. You should choose. What choice you have, Ganesh, Puriyartha? What choice you have? You have the choice to listen to Nibandhas and say no to choice of saying no to you deciding every aspect of your life and say yes to the Dharma deciding every aspect of your life. Then Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. Then only that Vedic statement, that Mahavakya. Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. You are saved by Dharma. One who follows Dharma are saved by Dharma. Dharma is not an opinion matter. Dharma is not a matter of opinion. Nibandhas is not a matter of opinions. Nibandhas is the matter of following the command. Why do you have to follow the command? You have been Rina Siddhanta, and if command is not given, and if the command is not given to you, and if you are not kept on tight leash, instead of doing your Nitya Naimittika karma, you will be taking more and more and more. Thereby, you become your own destructive. You destroy your own self. This is a series of talks on introduction to Dharma Shastra. To summarize three things: Sutra, Shastra, Nibandhas. Sutra, Shastra, and Nibandhas. Don't worry, having started, we are not going to stop. We are going to continue. Somewhere we will be continuing all these classes in different. Not in other classes, we'll be doing it separately by itself. Because having started, I'm not going to stop. Or having prepared so much only, I have started. We'll continue. With this, the first series on Introduction to Dharma Shastra, we conclude. Right.
With a clarification, the Chandra.
Oh, there is a clarification. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Sir, namaskaram.
Yeah.
Of course.
Namaskaram. Yes.
You said that the Dharma Shastras should not be questioned, but they have to be followed.
Yes.
But of course, you said about the Nibandhas, I shouldn't question. But still, I have a question. For example,
Yes.
Child marriage, okay, and early widowhood. Mahapariva had gone through some of the debates that were going on when the child marriage was abolished. He said, no, the child marriage should be there. And if the child becomes a widow, it's okay, because then she has to lead a life of a sannyasi. Okay.
Yes.
In that case, the respect that was given to a sannyasi like him, when he became a 12-year-old sannyasi, is not given to an 8-year-old child who becomes a sannyasi. She's shunned by the society. What I'm saying is, in the Nibandha, for example, you spoke about a child. Now the child, instead of saying you have to go to school, if you also explain to the child that this is good for you in what way, the child will also have an understanding. And also about Varna, you said it is based on Guna and Karma. But Mahapariva and Devatin Kural has said, no, it is based on birth. So what I want to know is my Guna and Karma doesn't make me behave like an ordinary, very subservient, shy woman, but a more authoritative, commanding personality. Am I going against the Dharma Shastra?
Now,
this is not political, sir. It's a real, genuine doubt I have in my mind.
Yes. First thing about child marriage. Because you are quoting Devatin Kural Mahapariva, most of them don't even know what is Devatin Kural here. And most don't even know who is Mahaperiva in the first place. Irrespective of that, what is marriage and why child marriage was introduced? First thing is marriage. Another thing, child marriage. What is marriage? One of the karma, one of the essential ashrama that a human being has to go into is grihastha, marriage. Therefore, why marriage is given as an important institution in the first place? Second, that is a very formula of Nibandhas itself. I started that in the first session itself. As a child, when somebody is told this is your guardian, this person is this person is the one whom you have to surrender, it's very easy. It is not the actual child. What is the concept behind it? Which is what we are trying to explain. Nibandhas or Dharma Shastra, in the very first session itself, I said it. I'm not quoting Mahaperiva. I am saying, I said it in the very first class. It's a bit child. Why? Because in that child, there is a level of, there is a level of innocence and trust. And talk about the limitation of the rule. Every rule has a limitation. Now, in every rule that we talk about, we can bring a limitation to that rule. And by bringing in the limitation to the rule, does the rule become invalid because it has a limitation? Every rule has a limitation. That is why Vedanta makes it so universal by saying every rule has a limitation. Therefore, you all do what you want. Dharma Shastra comes and says, the argument is like, let us say, assuming 30% of the police force is corrupt. Demolish the police force itself? No. Every rule has a limitation. And when somebody is exposed or when somebody life is gone in the direction of that limitation, two ways of looking at it. What is the two ways of looking at it? One way of looking at it is I am a victim and I will rebel against it and not obey it. That is one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is what? There is another way of looking at it. What is another way of looking at it? Which we will not accept at all nowadays. Which we will not agree at all nowadays. Because that looks so backward. What is the other way? There is a law, and for whatsoever reason, I come under the law which is not of my, in that specific individual's favor. Now there are two ways of looking at it. One is rebelling against the law and changing the law. Or another way is what? What is another way? Krishna's method, which you will not agree. Verse number 14, chapter 2, Krishna's method. What is Krishna's method? Verse number 14, chapter 2.
Prasadam.
Practice titiksha. Practice titiksha. But the law will not be changed.
But sir,
Practice
when I have
titiksha.
to follow that, there has to be a maturity to accept
Yes.
it as a prasada buddhi. But அந்த மெச்சூரிட்டி வரதுக்கு எனக்கு நீங்க படிப்பே கொடுக்கலையே ஒரு 8 வயசு குழந்தைக்கு. அந்த குழந்தைக்கு எப்படி வரும்? நீங்க தான்
தேவையே
முதல்ல
இல்லை.
எனக்கு படிப்பே கொடுக்கலையே.
தேவையே இல்லை. 8 வயசு குழந்தைக்கு படிப்பே தேவையில்லை. 8 வயசு குழந்தைக்கு ட்ரஸ்ட் தான் தேவை, கன்விக்ஷன் தான் தேவை. 40 வயசு ஆளுக்கு தான் டவுட். Doubt comes to whom? Doubt comes to whom? Doubt always comes to the one where the ego has woken up fully and refusing to accept anything. To them only education will be given. In the initial stages, you don't have to give education. In the initial stages, a strict regimental discipline is enough. You don't have to give education to the 8-year-old or the 12-year-old, because what education can they take at 8-year-old? What education can they take at 12-year-old? For maturity to come, look at the fallacy, ma. You think education is going to bring maturity? It's a this is the most fallacious human thinking. If education can bring maturity, the present day society should be the most mature society. Again, I repeat, if education can bring maturity, the present day society should be the most mature society. Their mental health should be the best. Proof of the pudding is in the eating. That's why I said when I open the Dharma Shastra, I'm opening a Pandora's box. If education can give maturity, Vedanta, Vedas comes and says, discipline and Shraddha is what is going to give maturity. If education can give maturity, look at the education that the 15-year-old has today. I look so backward in front of the 15-year-old child in terms of education.
I'm talking about the kind of education you give, sir. About what is this? I'm not talking about the secular education.
This kind of education,
etc.
Yeah. Now we are on the same page. For this kind of education, which parent wants to come and leave the 8-year-old child and turn back without looking? Which parent is ready to do that? I don't know whether my wife will be ready to do that, to leave the daughter, my own daughter, at me like that. You follow what I'm saying? Yes, it is true. This education is so vital, but this education means what? Leave the child, 8-year-old child, and turn back without looking. And what they will do here? Sir, with this I can. Dasharatha tells Vasishtha, at least I will drop my kids in the Gurukula, no? At least I'll drop my kids in the Gurukula. Pick up and drop service, we don't know. At least I'll drop my kids in the Gurukula. You know what Vasishtha said and went? What Vasishtha said to Dasharatha? He was bleeding. His eyes were bleeding. From the palace, they have to walk to the Gurukula, and he left. And the 4 Rama and the 3 brothers were walking in the hot sun to the Gurukula, and Dasharatha's heart was bleeding. What a loving father. What an affectionate father. And what a cruel guru. Isn't it? Dharma Shastra is exactly the reverse. You are, by doing that, you are only destroying your child. You follow what I'm saying? So Dharma Shastra is This kind of education is so important, so important, so important. And what at what age it has to start? 6 or 8, and leave the child, not come back in the afternoon. No PTA meetings will be there. No PTA meetings will be there. Don't look back for the next 8 years. You know that? Children never grew with their parents. Children never grew up with their parents. They'll be with the parent till the age of 6, 7. After that, they go to the Gurukula, and by the time they come back, father was looking at Shvetaketu, no? Upanishad says. The boy left at 11 and coming back at 24. Wow. That's a different way. And if somebody comes and says, I want to leave my 8-year-old with me, now I will say, no, engita udadingo, I will say. And on the combination, what is the combination that I said? Achara, Rotriyam, Brahmanishta. You follow? This education was given. You are right. Now we are on the same page. This education was given. And this education was seen as redundant education, backward education. Consequences, mental health is lost. If we have to revive the mental health of the society, the mental health of the society can be revived only to Dharma. Sorry, only by Dharma. You follow the difference, ma?
Yes, sir.
This is how it works. It may be utopian, but still it can be done. It may be utopian, but still it can be. But what? And how was Rama living? Every day they have to go begging. And what all comes, everything will be cooked in one vessel. Everything will be cooked as one item only. That will be served. Oh my God. Prince like Rama, born with the silver spoon, why should he has to live a torturous life like that? Correct. Why should that child have to live a torturous life like that? But we should not force our children, no sir, according to Vedanta. We should allow them to make their own choices, no? Dharma Shastra is deliberately opened up this Dharma Shastra topic to break certain wrong conditionings that we have developed in the last 100, 150 years. That's why I deliberately started talking on these topics, which most of them are not even topic. You follow? With this, we conclude, and we'll have a future whenever we make a plan, we'll continue with these sessions. Thank you.